Hello to all of my DIY friends out there. Today we are getting extra creative with Dollar Tree Toilet Plungers. If you're new here, I want to say hello. My name is Shannon and I want to welcome you here to my channel, The Daily DIYer. But if you're not new here, then you know we hack some pretty interesting things from Dollar Tree, and I have a big playlist that I'll link up here so you can check out all the previous things that we've hacked in the past. And I also want to thank EveryPlate for sponsoring today's video. So yes, like I said, EveryPlate is sponsoring this video. However, it is genuinely our family's go-to meal kit delivery service. When we have busy weeks, EveryPlate is a lifesaver. They always have the best meal options you get to choose from each week, but also has the best prices. Anything that saves me time and money, I am in for. EveryPlate offers 17 chef-designed recipes each week, starting at $4.99 per serving, and all the recipes come together in only about 30 minutes. And that is definitely faster than a trip to the grocery store. EveryPlate does the meal planning, the shopping, the prepping for you, and it takes the time-consuming guesswork out of cooking. The recipe that I'm cooking here is the pork chops and creamy Dijon mushroom sauce and crispy roasted potatoes. Makes me feel more fancy than I ever am, but it is so easy. This dish, I can appreciate anything that only uses a few dishes. So all I had here was a skillet, a baking sheet, a spoon, knife, and cutting board, and that was it. So cleanup was a breeze. This meal was so incredibly delicious. Our entire family loved it, and I'm so glad that I also still have the recipe card that came with this, so I can also remake it another time whenever I feel like it. You can also try EveryPlate for yourself for just $1.79 per meal in the first box, and then you also get an additional 20% off your next 2 boxes by going to everyplate.com and using my coupon code DIYER9, and I'll also have more information linked down in the description box below. If you've never tried EveryPlate, highly recommend it. And now that we're all hungry, let's go ahead and jump right into our Dollar Tree hacks video. I want to mention that I have used these wooden handles from the toilet plungers in projects in the past. I love them so much. They are a great deal, a great bargain, and they're pretty good sized. However, I've had a hard time coming up with some ideas for these rubber parts at the end. So if you guys have ideas, let me know down in the comments below. I did come up with one hack in this video though, so stay tuned for that. And I have lots of new ideas to share with you too. So let's go ahead and get started right now. So we're also gonna need these 2-piece stove burner covers and also a pizza pan from the Dollar Tree. We're gonna make a new to me tiered tray. I've never done this one before. So we have that stair-stepped kind of look where the burner cover is a little bit smaller than the pizza pan, so that will be the top. You can see there is a design on the back side, but we're going to do some painting to cover all that up. And of course, we're also going to need a toilet plunger from Dollar Tree. And I wanted to show you how easy it is. These just twist right off, so you can remove the rubber part. We're not going to need that. And there's also sort of like a twisted end there. We're gonna have to cut that off, and don't be scared of this. This is a handsaw and a miter box. They are so inexpensive. If you don't have one of these in your craft stash, you absolutely should. They are super cheap. You can find them at Walmart for less than $10. I'll link the one I use down in the description box below to make it easy for you to find. If you work with paint stir sticks, even popsicle sticks, these things come in super duper handy. And I'm actually showing you in real time how quick and easy it is to cut these toilet plunger handles down to the size that we're going to be needing, because we're going to be doing this quite a bit in this video. You can see the other end of this handle has a rounded end. We're going to cut that off too, so it is flush. Otherwise it's going to kind of make our tiered tray wonky. We don't want that. So now we have all of our pieces. We have our pizza pan, we have our burner cover, and we have our I'm gonna call it a dowel rod because it's kind of what it is now. Cut down to about 8 or 10 inches long, coming in with my chalk paint and giving everything 2 coats. Here's my little hack or my pro tip for you. for those rubber pieces. I actually started using these for holding my paint and my paintbrushes to keep my countertop clean. These wash out really easy and you can use them over and over again. But if you guys have more ideas, let me know down in the comments below. So now what we need to do is we need to cut or drill some holes into the middle of our pieces. So what I did is I had this thin painter's tape and I just kind of made it look like a piece of pizza, or a pizza pan. Wow, it's a pizza pan, but into like a pie. So it sectioned it off. I found the middle and then very easily was able to then drill holes right where those all intersected in the middle. So another tip here is to find a drill bit that's just a little bit smaller than the screw size that you're going to be using, because we don't want that too large. We want it to be able to grip on. So I'm also doing this to both ends of our dowel rod. That way we have a pilot hole and it's less likely to split our wood when we go to put this all together. So now it's time to build our tiered tray. Of course, the pizza pan is going to go on the bottom. You can see I didn't even mess with painting the bottom. You're not going to see it, so you can skip that step. It kind of helps to go ahead and twist your screw in there first to get it started, and then kind of with your hand twist it into the dowel rod, and then come in with a screwdriver or a drill so that way you can make sure everything comes together tightly and is good and secure. Repeat that with the top, and literally that is all there is to it. 3 pieces screwed together and we have our own inexpensive tiered tray. You can see here I also reinforced it just a little bit with some hot glue around the bottom to keep it from kind of swaying side to side, but really that's all there is to it. You can go ahead and decorate it up using your favorite home decor items. So I appreciate every single one of you that is still watching right now, and if you don't mind, take 1 second, hit that thumbs up button. That helps out my channel so much. So I always get lots of comments from you guys saying that you have a hard time finding items that I use in my videos at Dollar Tree to craft with, but mine always tends to have lots of plungers on hand, so I'm hoping you guys can find these at your stores too. They do come with a sticker on the handle though, and I wanted to give you a little tip. Take a hair dryer or a heat gun to them and it will peel right off. Use a little bit of Goo Gone to get that adhesive off, but here's another tip. Go ahead, rub that Goo Gone all over the wood handle. There's a little bit of oil in it and it leaves it kind of like a stained effect. We want to make sure that that wood looks cohesive throughout and it doesn't look splotchy. We are going to take this handle and we're going to cut off that twisted end with our handsaw and miter box, and we're going to make a long hanging organization piece. So you'll also need one of these over the door hooks. I love these. I use these all over my house and I have them in my organization hacks video. I will link that down in the description box below too. If you like organization hacks, check out that video. What we're going to do to this hanger is we're literally going to just rock and bend each one of these hooks off from the main piece. So you can see it just 3 bends and these pop right off. It's a really soft metal and it actually like pops the plastic coating off too. So go ahead and do that to all of these hooks on there. It'll take hardly any time at all. And then we're going to do a little bit of work to these hooks. This is what they look like after they've come off there. They're pretty easy to bend. So you can see we're going to take that bigger hook end and that's going to fit over our organization piece here shortly, which you'll see. We're going to tighten that up a little bit. You just squeeze it, and then we're going to take some pliers and we're going to bend another hook, just a small one, on the other side. Go ahead and do that for all of them. So here you can see the desired effect we're going for. So we have a hook over the dowel rod and then we have a small hook in the front. These hooks may come in handy for other projects and organization needs you may have, so keep this trick in mind. So So you can use ribbon for this, or this is a ribbon that looks like a faux leather. I just folded it in half and used a screw into the wall to make a little loop. It's gonna hold the weight and also hold our dowel rods. Once you have your loops, you can go ahead and insert your dowel rod through those loops. You can see here now we have a nice rail to hang our hooks on. Now, sky is the limit of how you want to use this rail system. I want to give you a couple ideas here. Dollar Tree has these buckets that come in a set of 3 for only $1 or $1.25, depending on where you live. And then you can fill them up with whatever you want. So if you're using it in your craft room, use it for markers, paintbrushes, or even some twine, beads, whatever you need handy. You can use it in an office space, using it for office supplies like pens, pencils, scissors, tape. Just get creative. Or you can even use this just as a pretty decorative piece. You can see here I added a little wreath, a sign, some beads, just to make it a pretty accent piece on the wall. Now we're gonna need 2 plungers to make a really easy plant stand. So again, went ahead and used my Goo Gone to help get the sticker residue off and rub that all over the wood surface, and we're gonna do some cutting. So again, going back to our handsaw and miter box, we're gonna cut both ends of each one of these off, measure for the center, cut them both in half, so then we now have 4 equal size pieces. Now we're going to be adding those dowels onto this planter, which is also from Dollar Tree. I did go ahead and lay some paper down on my work surface because we're going to be using some super glue here. So I also made some guideline marks for the top, bottom, and middle of my dowel rod. That's going to help me line these up so they're all even as I go. And here's a little tip: add some super glue onto your dowel rod first. Next, hot glue. That is going to set up quicker than our super glue and hold it in place until our super glue has some time to cure. So you can see I'm just kind of using those marks that I put on my paper as a guide for where I wanted to line this up onto my planter. I just kind of held it in place for a little bit until that hot glue had set up, and then I came in with some masking tape, and that's going to hold this all down in place as we work our way around the planter, adding the other 3 dowels, and also to let our super glue dry and set up. So I did go ahead and let this piece sit overnight to make sure everything was completely dried and cured before adding a plant. If you have ideas of what we should hack next, a simple and pretty easy to find item at Dollar Tree, let me know your suggestions down in the comments below. So this next hack is actually 3 in 1. We're gonna go ahead and start by prepping and getting 2 dowel rods ready to go. One longer, one shorter, but the first 2 projects, we're only gonna need 1. We're only really gonna need the longer one. That shorter one will come in handy here shortly, so hang on. But first, we also are gonna need a base. So I found these wood discs at Hobby Lobby. They were $1 a piece, or 2 for a set of 2. And again, you can see I'm using my plunger bottom here as a little paint dish. And instead of using that Goo Gone on all of these, I went ahead and painted the wood with a traditional burnt umber brown paint, which is going to give it a stained wood effect. So for this, we're going to drill some pilot holes again, just drilling right down into the center of that wood disc, and then also up the bottom of our longer dowel rod. And then, very similar to our tiered tray, we're going to use a screw up through the bottom of the wood disc and into that longer dowel rod. And that's all there is to this one. And then I have a couple ideas of how you can utilize this. You can use it for holding your paper towels on your kitchen counters like this, but you can also use it in another place. You can use this in your bathroom to hold your toilet paper too. We're going to take this one step farther and make it even more fancy, bringing back in that shorter dowel rod, and we're going to make a super fancy towel holder. So I cut the curved end of that dowel rod off, and we're also going to drill some pilot holes a couple inches down from the top and also into the bottom end of that shorter dowel rod, and we're going to use a screw to attach those together. And this is the reason why I cut the top flush. We're gonna add a finial onto the top to make it even more fancy, but really this is actually a drawer knob, not a finial. I actually used it. It was from a clearance find from Hobby Lobby. I took it off of it, and we're gonna add it and attach it onto the top of this towel holder with some super glue. So I think this is so pretty, and it would be so pretty in a bathroom too. But if you guys have other ideas of how you could utilize this piece, I would love to hear your ideas, because I feel like there's so much potential here. It's pretty simple and basic, but it has to have a lot of uses. Now let's make a fancy lantern. For this one, you are gonna need 4 plungers and also one of these crates that you can find at Dollar Tree. I'm using another plaque from Hobby Lobby that is square this time. You can find these, they're only $1.99, and it's about the size of the crate. So we're gonna go ahead and prep our dowel rods, all sticker free, all glue gunned, and now we need to do some work to our crate. So I didn't like that there was little cutouts for handles on there, so we're literally just going to use our handsaw, which again is coming in handy, to cut off that top layer from the crate. So it looks lots better now. It's gonna be the bottom of our lantern. It did have some splinters, so I took a sanding block to it, which you can also find at Dollar Tree, to smooth it all out. Came in with my chalk paint and gave everything one coat because I kind of wanted more of a rustic look. Once everything was painted and dried, we can start putting this all together. It is so easy. All you do is take some super glue and attach those dowels into the bottom of your crate. Let that sit up, let that dry, and then you can add some super glue to the tops of the dowel rods and set that square plaque on top. Now I love having that crate on the bottom because you can really fill it up with anything, but I found recently these new taller, skinnier LED candles at Dollar Tree. So we're gonna be using 3 of those, and I set some little wood pieces in the bottom to make them have a tiered effect, and also added some greenery. I wish I would have had a finial for the top of this. I think that would help take it to the next level, but it's still really pretty and has a really simple, beautiful look. Would you have ever thought you could make so many amazing things out of plungers? Let me know which one of these projects was your favorite down in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't yet. That helps out my channel so much. Subscribe if you are new. Come back for new Dollar Tree hacks coming soon. Thanks so much for watching today, and I will see you in the next one.